Um, hey, I'm live now. Hello. Hello, everybody. I have an echo, so I'm going to turn off my phone. There.
Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm Kel. I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Alina. I make comics that you can read at alina-pete.com or at wheregeek.com. Just like my channel.
And we draw comics.
Yeah. Oh, I got to do my normal thing. I got to draw a weird little doodle of us.
I am going to be drawing pages of my comic, You Are the Chosen One, which is about 23 kids that get the same prophecy dream, telling them they are the chosen one.
Which is pretty cool.
And before we went live, we were talking about problematic faves. My problematic fave is Pete Campbell from Mad Men, who you might notice is my desktop background. Alina, what's your
Nice, nice.
problematic fave?
I don't know. I was saying this earlier. I don't know that I have a problematic fave who's like a character. I have like problematic faves where I'm like, I really love this author's work, but the actual author is like a piece of garbage, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I
I
think I'm
mean,
drawing you as a
I was just
sausage
talking.
wolf.
Good.
Good, good. I drew me as a
Um,
chicken, and you are a sausage.
all wolves all the time.
Yep.
Um, I was speaking of problematic creators. I was just talking
There's a good
about
segue.
Joss Whedon to some
I
people.
wondered if he would come up on the stream today, Mr.
Well,
Garbage
since we're
Pile.
talking about problematic faves, yeah.
There you go.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
know
a
if you
very good wolf.
read. I don't know if you read that article about him,
Uh-huh.
the interview with him, um, where I was like, I feel like you made it worse with this interview.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is the correct thing to think after that. It's like, look, we weren't really thinking about you, but
um,
now we're thinking about you and what a dick you are. So
and now we have more evidence that you're a dick because in your attempt to defend yourself,
you
you
just
have
really.
shown like even worse. Like he just had to sleep with those 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, but
And shout at like all of his underlings to show what a piece of crap he
yeah.
is. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good choice, bud. Good choice.
Um,
Oh, I am
and
working
then
on a shirt design, for those who are wondering what this whole thing is, which is why I've got a limited color palette. It's a maximum of 4 because we're doing it screen printing. This is for the local furry show, Vancouver, which is fantasy themed this year.
I keep meaning to give furry cons a try.
Oh my god, Cal, they're so
Um,
fun. Oh, I hope
I
that
don't
this
know.
con can
Well, here's
happen,
the thing,
and I hope, because like Corey is supposed to come up, and the two of us are going to partay, and it will be great.
Alina. Do you think regular cons are fun?
No.
Okay, because I also don't think
Yeah, no.
regular cons
No,
are
regular cons, like,
fun.
regular cons, I have fun seeing other creators and like catching up and stuff. Whereas Gen Con's great because I actually go out and play games at Gen Con. Like I will go out in the evenings after I've rested and gone back to the hotel and like washed all of the con filth off of myself. I will then sometimes still have the energy to go down and like let's check out some games and see what's happening this year. Um, but then the furry show, they take really good care of you. So like there's a food cart that comes around and they bring you lunch. You pay for it, but like you get fed at your table, which is amazing. And then everyone is
Oh,
just super 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 excited for you to draw them because you have your persona. It's not a thing that you can see often.
that's
So you get people to draw it
that's
and then they're
the
so delighted.
that's the other thing is I don't really like to do commissions,
Oh,
especially
see, there you
during a
go.
show.
Yeah. Well, that's
Um,
like the main thing I do at furry shows, and I do quite
yeah,
well
so
on them.
that's the other reason why I was like, I don't think I want to
Yeah,
do furry shows because it seems like most of the money is in
do some
commissions, and
drawings.
um, I'm bad at like being in sales mode and doing commissions on top of
Mm,
that. And then my werewolves actually turn into regular wolves because I don't actually particularly like to draw
furries.
animal people
Yeah.
hybrids. Yeah.
See, I was a kid who drew nothing but dragons for like a lot of my teens. Like not even furry dragons, just dragons. I just drew
Mm.
dragons 100% all day, every day. That was me. I was that kid. Uh, and so I'm very good at drawing animals.
Um, Whereas I like to draw regular animals
Yeah.
and I like to draw regular people and maybe some people that have animal parts because obviously my
Hence
werewolves have
werewolves.
tails,
Yeah.
hence my werewolves have tails. So like drawing um a satyr,
Right.
I wouldn't that would be fun,
You've
but
got
like
like the Cory Bing I draw animal people
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas
um
I just straight up like drawing furries. They're fun.
uh
I like
but
drawing
I
some
prefer
animal
to
people
draw
with funny Disney faces.
I prefer to draw hot dudes that
Mm,
are just regular dudes,
just some regular dudes.
rather than furry
You don't
dudes.
want to draw a hot wolf dude. You don't want to draw the hot wolf dude from Beastars or not Beastars.
No,
BNA.
no, I actually did not like BNA. I thought it
it
was
was
kind
it
of
was a bit of a
shallow, all
mess.
style and it
It
was all
was
style and no substance.
story wise. It was very weirdly paced.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so
Come on there, move.
what are your problematic fave authors?
Furries, no. Seriously though, furries are lovely and I love them. I like doing furry shows. It's very fun. I don't. So I really like the novel Ender's Game. I think it's
Ah,
really interesting. I it was one of the ones that I read as a teenager that was like one of the few sci-fis that wasn't like super misogynistic, which is unfortunate because like the author is, but
yeah.
it was
Um,
for
yeah.
when I read it, it felt like a breath of fresh air where I was like, oh okay, this is cool. This is not the big heroic white guy runs out and has to save the damsel in distress. Which was a lot of the like, oh, these are the greats of sci-fi. If you were into sci-fi, you must read these. And I read them and they were all crap. And I was like, I hate this. I do not like these books.
Um, uh, Jay Edidin used to know Orson Scott Card.
Really?
And like as a teenager had been to his house.
Huh.
Um, and when all that stuff about Orson Scott Card came out,
Yeah.
he wrote a great article that was like Orson Scott Card friend mentor bigot. Like that was the
Right.
headline.
Right.
And it was all about like Jay's very complicated feelings about Orson Scott
I
Card.
bet. Yeah.
Um, so it's an interesting read.
I
But I
mean,
also brought up,
like we were saying
yeah,
about frickin' Whedon. I know a lot of people today who were like, "Oh God, Buffy was so formative to my youth as a geek
yeah, no,
girl." Like,
Buffy is why I started writing and got into comics.
yeah,
Um, but like earlier today, I got into a Facebook sort of argument. Basically, someone got mad at me because I commented on someone else's Facebook post about Whedon.
gotcha.
Um, Basically, a friend of mine um, mentioned the second to last episode of Firefly. There's the assassin guy who comes on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and he threatens to sexually assault Kaylee.
Right.
And he is
Wasn't he the
a big
guy who
black
was
dude.
the lead of Kinky Boots at the time?
I I don't know because it's been a while since I watched
Because I remember
Firefly.
watching that, and then I was like, "What is the boy? The boy from Kinky Boots is here. What is happening? He's an
Um,
assassin."
so 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 my friend brought that up as why she never finished or got into Firefly,
Mm.
um, and was kind of like, maybe we could have figured out that Joss Whedon was a racist sooner if we
Yep, yep. Like,
um,
just read into
paid
his work a
attention
little.
to the warning signs like within his work.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Mm-hmm.
which being
Mm-hmm.
that he relied on scary
Big
black
scary black
men
man.
threatening
Yup.
the scary black
Innocent white
man
women.
sexually threatening innocent white lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's a
someone
thing.
else yeah, and then someone else chimed in with like the usual here's all this Asian stuff but there are no Asian characters.
Yeah.
um and then
Also a problem.
someone else brought up that the Reavers are just repeating the racist depictions of natives from westerns.
Cool, 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 cool. Yep.
And then someone else brought up like also he wants you to side with the South in the Civil War.
Yes.
um
Yeah. I mean,
and the two people who brought up those other examples were like, what? And then he presented like evidence. um and so and he had like 5 different posts, and then I chimed in and said, yeah, it's all over the show. I mean, they even say that they'll rise again in the second episode. Like,
who?
it's we don't need any more Firefly. Like,
No, no.
and even though like a dude made 5 of these posts, um like talking about how Whedon wants you to side with the Confederacy, this person singled me out to be like, you're taking this the wrong way and we should focus on the actual bad things that he did,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That sounds
jump
about
to the
right.
worst interpretation or whatever. um and I like came back late to the conversation, and like just missed oh, someone is in my chat, um
Saying,
going, who's
yeah.
Magical Captain King, going, damn, I loved Firefly too. So there,
Yep.
I'm just sorry, Magical Captain King, dumping
Some realness on
weird
here.
political some political weirdness in Firefly.
Here's the thing, though. So one of my
And
friends, who is usually a lot less,
yeah.
he's usually one to jump to the like, yeah, screw this guy, blah. Today was like, look, I know a lot of you are probably hurting, because like a lot of this stuff was formative for a lot of nerds, and especially with some of the like female empowerment stuff, which it turns out wasn't actually his thing, but he got so much credit for it, and that's a problem. But he's like, you can still love this though, because remember that films and TV are not just made by one person. So even though you could hate him, he didn't write a lot of those episodes. He certainly wrote a fair share of them, but not every single one of them. And often your favorites are not written by him. Plus the talents of everyone else who was involved with that show, like the actors, the production team, etc., etc. So like still try, if you're like it's now ruined for me forever, like know that he wasn't the only one who touched that stuff. He may have
Yeah.
ruined it and made it
Well, so
uncomfortable now in retrospect.
my argument with Firefly is that on a fundamental level, like baked into its DNA, is problematic shit. Like, you
Yes,
can,
no, it's true.
some of the
Yeah.
stuff, yeah, stuff in like Buffy and Angel is problematic, but that is
Yes,
not baked
the
into the
heart of the
DNA
show like
of
it is in
one
Firefly.
girl in all the world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
because
For sure. No argument
in a
there.
different conversation, I was talking to some other people who I'm in a Discord that's a bunch of anime fans that are all younger than me. So when this Whedon stuff dropped, they were like, I never really watched Whedon. I was too young for it. Like,
Like, oh babies,
um,
oh babies.
yeah. So they had all not seen Firefly, and they're like, I watched like one episode, and I'm like, this is just Stargate again, or like they said
Yeah,
that
they're
it
not
was
wrong.
just like, and then some other no, and I was like, no, it's so much worse than Stargate. Like there are fundamental political problems to Firefly because, as I
Yeah.
mentioned already, there's the
The
Civil War
South may
angle.
rise again.
Um, yeah, and then there's also uh the using Chinese stuff but
Oh,
not
so
having any
terrible.
Chinese characters.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, and then to make that even worse, there is more Asian stuff whenever they deal with the big controlling government.
Yes.
So there's definitely some like racist fear mongering of communist China going on, not
Mm-hmm.
just we're going to throw in Chinese stuff for aesthetic reasons. And so
Yup.
you have the two bad guys are like racist depictions of China or racist depictions of natives.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle, you have our main characters who are basically space libertarians,
Yup.
um, who want to go, fuck you, I got mine.
Yup.
um and I know they don't want to like present themselves at that, but that's basically what they are. Like, and it just I there's a clip that has been used again and again because it's very funny by leftist YouTubers I follow. um it's a clip of the presidential debate of the Libertarian Party. So like when they're picking their candidate,
Yeah.
um and one of the questions is, do you think someone should have a license to drive a car? um and all of them basically say no, but one guy says, what's next, needing a license to make toast in your own damn toaster? And I'm like, that's the cast of Firefly. We need they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
they want to just do their space libertarian bullshit.
Yup. They're like,
Um,
I got my ship. I'm gonna go off grid. I'm gonna
yeah,
be an
basically.
off gridder.
Yeah. Uh, Hi, Onion Knight is someone in my chat who has heard me rant about Firefly multiple times. Hi, Onion Knight. I'm mad about Firefly again.
Again. Again. Hello. This is a theme.
Onion Onion Knight sent me a message when the Cowboy Bebop
Oh, right.
Netflix came out.
Yep.
That was because it's very much influenced by Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what made me disillusioned with Firefly is I rewatched Cowboy Bebop right after rewatching Firefly and
The
realized
anime
all
or
the
the live
things that
action?
I like the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I rewatched Cowboy Bebop right after watching Firefly and realized all the things I liked about Firefly were in Cowboy Bebop.
Right. But
And then
better and
Cowboy
less
Bebop
racist.
doesn't have all the bullshit that is
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Firefly. So when the live action one came out and is clearly influenced by Firefly,
You're
Onion
like,
Knight sent me a message that was Firefly ruined Cowboy Bebop twice.
and you're like, God
Um,
damn it.
uh, so anyway, welcome everyone to the stream.
Hi.
I have opinions. Uh,
I do too.
uh,
Some of them are similar.
Onion, yeah.
But I always enjoy a good
Onion Knight
rant.
is saying, he did good that day.
Good.
Uh, since I have some people in my chat, who are your problematic faves, either characters or creators?
Same thing in this chat,
Since
y'all.
Alina doesn't have,
Let us know. I'm watching both chats.
is Alina doesn't have problematic fave characters.
Here's the thing. So
Uh,
went to a Firefly LARP. It's a couple actually, and they were
Oh,
really, really well run. Like, so in Saskatoon, there is a place called Boomtown at the Western Development Museum, which already is kind of a problematic fave of mine, because it's the museum that we all went to when we were kids. They like our school trips always took us there, and it was fun. And there was like farming equipment and this and that and this and that. And then I was in 6th grade, and I was there one year, and I was like, this is the colonization museum. Let's celebrate
yeah.
the expansion of settlers into the West and taking of the homeland from my people. Oh boy, this is a problem. This is a problem. So anyway, but in there, there's like this whole town in an indoor warehouse. There's an entire like frontier town that you can walk around in, and like the general store has like all of the like old timey products up on the shelves like they would have been, and you can see like the original packaging and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is neat. Um, so like you can rent it out for weddings, but you can also rent it for LARPs. And so we went to a LARP there, and my God, it was one of the most beautiful LARPs I've ever been to because everyone was dressed up like space cowboys and wandering around in this frontier town, and it was really, really, really pretty and very like, wow, this is like a lot of work has gone into this game, a lot of work and love for
Um,
Firefly.
uh, Onion Knight in the chat is presenting his problematic fave as Rurouni Kenshin.
Hmm.
I assume, Onion Knight, you mean the creator, not the character. Because the character is way more problematic than, I mean, the
The
creator is way
creator,
more
yeah,
problematic than the
than the
character.
character.
Uh, Onion is saying, well,
Well,
semi both.
I have not.
Semi both.
What am I doing with this arm? Kel, how do I draw arms? What am I
Um,
doing?
well, there's a hand and there's an elbow, and then they connect, and that's how you draw an
Yeah.
arm.
This is more designery than I usually get with my drawings because it has to be a screen print. So I'm like,
Mhm.
it's making my brain burn. I can get through this though. I can do this.
Karu is 16, but it's a historical biopic. So 28-year-old marrying a 16-year-old in 1800s Japan is apt. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I wouldn't really put him on that problematic. More his creator of. So. Um,
I know some of the things, but I suspect I do not know the whole story behind
I mean, he
the
had
the.
child porn. That's it. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's. I mean, that's pretty. That's the one I'd heard, and it's pretty problematic. I'm like, yeah, no, there's no coming
Uh,
back from that.
I don't think there really has been anything else besides that.
I mean, that's enough.
Yeah, that's
That's
enough.
enough.
Um, so, uh, Corey Bing is telling me her problematic fave is, well, she really likes Chinatown, even though it's made by a rapist.
Mm.
Um, so,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Magical Captain King, do you have a problematic fave that we can discuss?
I mean, I don't have a problematic fave, but I do have a show that I watched for a while that I now pisses me off to no end.
Oh, what
It
is it?
is Dexter.
Oh,
I watched it for the first couple seasons because everybody was really into it. My other friend, who was
oh,
very, very into the bad guys, was like, Alina, you need to watch this with me, and then we need to discuss it because it's tasty. And oh boy, the actor is so hot. And I was like, all right. Oh, it's a show about like a murderer who like murders people. Whatever. Watched it, had fun,
um,
chatted with her about it a little bit. But I got out of it well before it like completely jumped the shark, and it was like, oh yeah, all of the cops are super dumb. Any cop worth their salt would definitely know that like
I
this
mean,
man is killing
that's
people.
accurate. I
This
don't
man
know.
is definitely
Uh,
killing people.
uh,
Uh, and
I
and
would
at the
argue that
end,
that's true to life. That the cops are not going to recognize that the serial killer is one of them.
One of their own. Yeah.
But
But so at the very end of it, he like goes off into the woods. He like kills his sister and dumps her body in the water, and then goes to live off in the woods and be a lumberjack. And it was like, that's dumb. I'm glad I stopped watching that show years ago because my friend was ranting to me about it because she was so pissed off at how dumb the ending was. And I guess New Blood spoilers. Anyway, I won't completely spoil it for anyone who might be watching Dexter, but at the end, it's all about like, actually, you know what? The way we ended it before was really dumb. He shouldn't just get off scot-free from all of this. Yes, he had plot armor because he was the main character, but we should actually give him some consequences for his actions. Anyway, so that was all foremost in my mind the other night, and then I went to bed and I had a dream that like I was out in the woods with Dexter, and I was just like,
oh,
"You're an idiot. You're such an idiot. Why? Why are you such a badly written character?" Because like in my dream, I knew he was a character that was fictional, and he was just like, "I don't know. I guess I'm just a dumbass." I'm like, "Yeah, you are. I
do you
hate you."
know? Do you know what happened in the books?
Nope.
In the books, he's literally possessed by a demon. So his dark passenger is not metaphorical;
It's
it is
literally a
literal. He
demon in
is,
his head.
yeah, telling him to do all the murders.
Cool. Good.
Um,
Good.
and
That's even funnier. I don't know why. Because it's really dumb.
uh, so
My brain
I,
demon is telling me to do a murder.
yeah, I watched way too much Dexter. I didn't get to the last season. I got to the season where Colin Hanks is the bad guy. Um,
Right.
and
Did you see
is
Surprise, motherfucker?
yeah.
Oh god.
Um,
I love the meme for that.
I saw the season where Julia Stiles had to I must go now. My planet needs me. Like that's basically how clunky her getting written off the show was.
Yes.
Um,
Was she the mentor, like the mom character who was like, I raised you and I taught you things because I knew that you would be a serial killer when you grew up?
no, Julia Stiles is while murdering a guy that kidnaps and rapes ladies.
Yeah.
It turns out he keeps them for a while, and Julia Stiles was in this dude's basement.
Oh,
So
was she
like,
Lumen?
yes.
I remember Lumen was very annoying.
I think it's less the
She was like
problem is that
Manic
she's
Pixie Murder Girl.
annoying.
She was Manic Pixie Murder
Well,
Girl.
yeah, it wasn't even that. It was just like, oh, now I can have a girlfriend that can murder with me. All my problems are solved.
There was
And then
probably
they hunt.
so much hate for her in
Uh,
the fanfic community because
yeah. Well, then they murder all her rapists, and she's like, cool. I don't need revenge anymore, so I'm done murdering. Bye. And just
bye.
pieces out.
Bye. I'm done with the murders now.
Yeah. Bye, Dexter. Out.
I don't need to do a murder
It's
anymore.
very much I must go now. My planet needs me, and then she died on the way back to her home planet.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Jesus. I can only imagine the writer's room some days. We're just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Onion, yes, that is after season 3. I believe it was like season 5. Because it was season 4 is when his girlfriend dies. So Julia Stiles is his new girlfriend. Because she can murder with him, I
Yeah.
guess.
Speaking of like a show though having really good actors on it, even if it's kind of garbage sometimes, like some of the supporting characters were really good actors. There was some quality acting going on in this ridiculous murder show.
But yeah, it was a bad show. I really liked the opening though.
Oh,
Like
the
the
opening was
opening
amazing.
credits were really well
Oh, it
done.
was so good. All the
Um,
like creepy breakfast food.
well,
Breakfast is murder.
it's like the way he ties his shoes
Yes.
is um
The close-up shot of
like
him eating a ham was like so
yeah,
weirdly
and the
intimate.
way when he puts his shirt on, it's like covering someone's face with a plastic
Yeah.
bag. Like just
Oh no. Oh
yeah,
no.
so
My fanfic friend would like could deconstruct that opening in intimate detail. 'Cause it was hot. And one of
um
her favorite parts of the show.
I mean, it was definitely the best part of the show. I do think
When that's
Dexter.
the best you can say about a show, it's a problem. It's like, well, the
I
opening
will
was
say,
good.
I will say, if someone wants to know how to do like voiceover narration inner monologue of a
Oh
character,
yeah. That and
um,
Leverage. Watch those shows.
well,
Or not
Dexter
Leverage,
is a good.
Burn Notice.
Well, see, Dexter's a good one to watch because it's done really well in like the first two seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and then really garbage in every season after that. Because um, when they do it in the first two seasons, it focuses on showing things that you cannot visually see and
Mm-hmm.
also like establishing that he's an unreliable narrator
Yes.
because it's all stuff like him being like happy birthday being nice to the kids and then
Yeah.
being like I don't understand birthdays, they're pointless,
Mm-hmm.
like who gives a fuck.
You're older now. You're
um
closer to death.
yeah, so it's kind of like it was a good contrast between like how he thinks and what everyone else is seeing.
Yeah.
um and there's stuff like in the second season when that the one smart cop is on to him,
Mm-hmm.
um and he has that guy captured and he's all like I don't have feelings in his inner monologue, like
Yeah.
because I'm a serial killer. But then like right after he says he doesn't have feelings, he flips out in rage.
Mm-hmm.
um so it's like it's very well done, like what Dexter says versus what
What
he
he does.
does.
Yeah. It's like, this
Yeah.
guy. This guy.
Whereas like um to later in the show is him being like I need to clean up the evidence, and then he cleans up the evidence and
Yes. And you're like,
like
that's not how you do that sort of narration. What are you doing? Dexter
uh
cleans up the
yeah.
evidence.
um then while watching Draw Free, I like that one girl was like, "This is my favorite racist," before drawing her problematic fave, a Phoenix Wright villain,
Oh, good.
um, and all her build up to like her favorite racist. I was kind of like, is she gonna say Joseph Joestar from JoJo? Because
Oh.
if someone had to ask me who my favorite racist was, I would probably pick
You'd be
him.
like, yeah. They did a JoJo episode where they drew their JoJo Sonas. It
Good.
was very funny.
Did they say what their JoJo powers would be?
They did, yeah. I love the concept of a JoJo Sona.
It's good. Like, what did they say their powers were? So I
Oh,
feel
I
like
don't
that's
remember.
key.
It's been a while since I watched that episode.
Uh,
They've got a really good format.
they
Their
do.
format work is very, very good.
Captain Midnight King. Oh my god, I never considered a Joe Sona, an Onion Knight saying, Joseph Joestar, I can't be racist, my best friend is black. Um But he's also friends with a Nazi, so
So there you go.
have you watched much JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Not a lot. Like, I know the concept and I've seen clips, but I don't know that I've watched a full episode.
It is indeed a bizarre adventure.
Yeah.
Onion Knight, listen, that Nazi is also a cyborg, and if you wouldn't throw away your ethics to befriend a dude with a cool machine gun arm, you are lying.
Well, when you put it that way. Am I almost done the figure? I think I'm almost done the figure. Yeah.
Cool. Yay.
I gotta draw the staff and then I'm doing good. I'm doing this complicated layout where the background, like the landscape, is in the shape of a dragon head. And it is not something I've done before. But I saw it. There's been some really cool posters that do this kind of layout, and I really liked them, so I wanted to try it. It is not easy.
Yeah. I think I know what poster. Like, I've seen a couple of posters like that.
Mm-hmm. This one's just like, this is like my challenge mode.
Yeah.
So, can you do this kind of design work? I'm like, oh boy, sure gonna give it a try. Well, let's see. What color am I gonna make the staff?
Finish my pages before it's time to end the stream. Maybe I'll draw Pete Campbell.
Sweet.
Alina, how many Discworld books have you read?
Several. I don't think I've read all of them, but I have read many.
The Discord that I'm in with Onion Knight, I've successfully made a book club, and we're gonna read all the watch books first.
Oh, nice. Good, good, good. I'm just looking up a list now. I've jumped around a lot.
I have been thinking a lot about Monstrous Regiment.
Mm.
Because that's definitely the gayest Discworld book.
I don't know that I've read that one.
It's about Polly, who disguises herself as a boy
Yeah.
and goes by Oliver and joins the army.
Good.
And then there are several new recruits that are also joining the same time as her. And then she finds out one of the new recruits is actually a girl who's pregnant and is trying to find her boyfriend in the army.
Oh, interesting.
So she's disguised as a man
right.
to join the army. And then
it's just everyone a lady.
Are lesbians
Good.
that disguise themselves as men
Good.
because they're on the run.
Yep. Good.
And then there's an Igorina who's disguised as an Igor.
Excellent.
Because
Good.
she wants to break the glass ceiling. And you're seeing the trend here.
Yes, good. The entire regiment is composed of women.
Yes.
Lovely.
Secretly dressed as men.
Good.
And So it's all about the genders.
Yep.
And while no one says trans in the book,
It's it's
um,
it's there. It's not subtext, it's text. It's
yeah, well, it's because like what I think is clever, like I know someone who hated that all the regiment was secretly girls,
mm, that's the
but
joke
like
though.
the answer is like, but they're not all girls.
Yeah.
Some are trans men.
Yes.
Like, because every character is like a
They're
different
all a
common
fab,
story.
but
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like every character is a different common reason a woman would have dressed as a man um
in
in
this time period
in
and setting.
in a society. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have like the Eagerina wants to break the glass ceiling, the
Mhm.
girl who's pregnant trying to find her boyfriend, the lesbians are on the run and need a new identity,
Yep.
um and also are going against gender roles, um and so Polly and one of the other characters, um their reason is really flimsy,
Mm,
and then the book ends and all the other characters I just mentioned go back to being women after they're done in the army,
right.
um and Polly and this other character don't,
Right. Right.
so obviously, um I would argue that Polly is non-binary,
Right.
um because Polly's whole thing is that Polly um is like, being a guy is weird, being a girl is weird. Both of these things are weird.
Yep,
Um,
that's some NB vibes.
yeah. And then the other one, like they have a dramatic scene where they all reveal to
Oops,
each
we're all
other.
women. Oops, all women.
But
Sort of.
the
Yeah.
other one that goes back to the army doesn't take part in that moment
Right, yeah.
and only comes out to the main character Polly and
Right.
doesn't tell the rest of them. So, um, yeah, so they're trans. Um,
Definitely. That's cool. I need to read that one now. That
and
sounds very fun and I would enjoy it.
yeah, uh,
What the hell am I doing? Oh, okay. No, yep, I did it right. Cool. Phew.
uh, so yeah, cause Iris, who also goes to furry shows a lot,
Mhm.
is doing a Discworld podcast,
Oh, cool.
um, and is rereading all of Discworld. Um, is currently annoyed that they're in the early books that have all the racism in them.
Yeah.
Um,
It took me a while to
because
get
when
through
you're
those until one of my friends was like, "No, no, read on, you'll like it." And I was like,
skip them.
Okay, not
It's like
sure."
it was like I understand why Terry Pratchett thought it was a good idea because he is making fun of fantasy tropes,
Yeah.
and he's like, but I'm making fun of the racist fantasy tropes, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you're not being unracist while doing so,
It's like
and that is where the
fair.
problem is.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Okay, that reminds me of. So, have I talked to you about the Temeraire novels?
who does them? That might ring my
Naomi
memory
Novik,
bells. Oh, I've read her other books. I haven't read those
the
ones.
the like Harry Potter-esque ones.
I've read the Harry Potter
Yeah,
ones.
that was a good one.
And then I read the Spinning Silver
Yes, I love that
and
so much.
the um
The other one,
someone said.
the Rumpelstiltskin one. No, that's Spinning Silver. The other one.
Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah,
That one's Spinning Silver, and I also read the other one. So we
yeah,
both know what we're talking about. We read
yeah.
those ones.
The
But I
forest
haven't
one.
read any, yeah, but I haven't read any of the
Okay.
Napoleonic Wars with
Yes,
Dragons.
Napoleonic Wars with Dragons. Basically, I was into that novel as soon as somebody gave me the elevator pitch because I was like, "Oh my god, yes, that is a thing for me. I do wish to read this." So, despite being native,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I have like a soft spot for Napoleonic books, and I cannot tell you why. I just really enjoy ship battles. I guess maybe it's the same thing that makes me love sci-fi. I do like naval battles, whether they're in space or not. But the best naval battles are with dragons, obviously. Dragons
Hmm.
are cool. I love them. It's great. So I read the Temeraire novels, and what I find fascinating about them is what Naomi has done to kind of make the characters who are British in the Napoleonic period less problematic. So she's like, well, first off, the main character has to be an abolitionist. So his dad's been
Hmm.
fighting for abolition. Because, like, the British Navy at that point was still getting a lot of their sailors from the slave trade. So, so she was like, cool, he's fighting for abolition. And that becomes a huge plot point later in the series. But then also, she was like, I do want to write some female characters. So she invented a kind of dragon that will only accept female riders just to have some
Hmm.
of the women in the military. And then it was like, so the British Navy is like, we have to keep this a secret because the populace will lose their minds if they find out that we have women serving in the Navy or Air Force. So that's also a thing. And then the main character finds and adopts a couple black children on his adventures in Africa because they're orphaned, and then there's a whole series of events. Anyway, so that there can be some people of color in the main cast.
Hmm.
I was like,
Um,
oh boy, he sure had to do a lot of work to make this super racist and sexist time period a little bit less objectionable. Naomi,
have you
good job.
have you ever read the Bartimaeus trilogy?
No.
Um, so it takes place in a alt history.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are wizards.
Yep.
But the way wizards work is they just summon demons. So like if a wizard
Mm.
does a spell um
It's
to move a
demons.
cup,
Yeah.
it's just a demon is picking up the cup and moving it.
Oh, okay.
Um
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so the way it works is they control the demon by knowing the demon's
True name.
true name.
Yep, sounds about right.
Um and but demons can control the wizard if and like strike back if they ever learn the wizard's
Wizard's true
birth
name.
name.
Yeah.
Wizards they specifically make it birth name.
Gotcha.
Um so um it is said that like all the like so there's still like the empiric conquering history has happened, but it's happened slightly differently
Mm.
um because it's all these like um capitals of the world, quote unquote, are really just where like the best wizards showed up
Okay.
and gravitated.
Right.
Um, and so, because all the best wizards were gravitating to this place of learning and magic, then all the wizards are allied with that country, so that gave them a military advantage. And so,
Right.
while it still kind of resembles our world, things are different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, like, one of their points is the American Revolution never happened
Yep.
because colonists didn't have the wizard power to fight England.
Right.
Um, um, so, and because of that, there was no westward expansion.
Right.
Um, and so, um,
That's kind of a plot point in the
it
Naomi Novik
takes,
novels too, because like they were like, so North America didn't get settled because natives had uh, dragons. There you go. Different.
yeah.
It's different now.
Well, so a thing is like, um, in this book, it takes place in what is technically modern day.
Mm.
Um, but like they have slightly different technology since they've been having magic, and it takes
Right.
place in London. um and like as a like um plot point that's like a background detail,
Mm-hmm.
there is a war going on in America because somehow the natives have wizards and none of them know why.
Gotcha.
um and because it's inconceivable that people that aren't white would figure
Oh
this
no,
out
tribal
without
people
us telling
have
them.
some kind
Yeah,
of
and
knowledge.
it is treated as like the cast of characters being unreliable as they
Yes.
talk about
Yeah.
like yeah. But so a thing that's interesting about it is like so all these rise and fall of civilizations, if one place has all the best wizards, why isn't Rome still around if it could like
Right,
just
right.
stomp everyone with
Because it
wizards?
had all of the wizards
Um
back in the day.
yeah, yeah. And so one of the reasons it turns out is when you get enough wizards in an area, regular non-wizard people start to be born immune to magic.
Oh, interesting.
So the lower class of non-magic users always overthrows the wizards, and then the center of wizard power has to move. Um,
Ah, because non-wizards
uh,
resent the power of the wizards.
cause the wizards are abusing their power because
Yeah.
that's just what they do.
I mean,
Um,
if they are, if non-magic people are the proletariat, eventually they gonna
yeah,
revolution.
yeah, and so it's basically this has just happened repeatedly over and
Gotcha.
over again, um, and like that's what you find out over the course of the trilogy. Um, because so the first book is about a kid who um is learning to become a wizard
Mm,
and summons up a demon um and asks the demon to like be like, hey, so this guy embarrassed me and I want you to like dig up some bullshit on him so I can embarrass him
right,
and get him in trouble. And it is a child asking this, so the child is not thinking what an adult could do to get them in trouble.
right,
And the demon comes back, is like, so he's planning to overthrow the government so he can be in charge.
right.
Uh, um, which kicks things off. But during the beginning of the book, the demon that he summons, since the kid's inexperienced, the demon learns his name.
Right.
Um, and they work together to save the government. Kid's praised as a hero. But then the second book is from the point of view of a like non-magic user person
Mm,
who is immune to magic and is like the beginnings of the rebellion that's going to overthrow England as the center
gotcha.
of power are starting. Um,
These people are discontented with these wizards.
um, uh, and then it turns out that why the natives wizards are so powerful is they are working in cooperation with the demons,
Mm,
whereas all the European wizards have just been subjugating them.
yup. Sounds about right.
Um, so that turns out to be like the key to stopping the bad guy in the third thing is them finding out that that's possible.
Right. Well, because the kid can work with his demon. Who
Like
knows his
he kind
name?
of he
Yeah.
reluctantly does at first because the demon knows his name.
Yeah.
Um, but
Then it
yeah,
becomes more of a thing. Yeah.
yeah. It's it's also I thought it was interesting because like all the wizards are assholes, but like the system that
Awaz.
has been made, the system that has been made kind of like has set them up to be like have all the emotional baggage
Right.
because since you can't have your birth name known by the demon,
Mm-hmm.
um they don't pick kids at random to become a wizard.
Right.
They are like, hey, any teens out there that get knocked up, um,
Give us your
just
child.
after you give us your child,
Yeah.
basically, give your child to the government.
We will raise them to be a
So
wizard.
you have a ruling class who doesn't actually have any family ties and is disconnected from like any possible community that they can make.
Right.
Um, so it's like, yeah, they're all assholes because they've all been through this kind of traumatic experience that tells them they can only rely on themselves.
Yeah.
Um, and other bullshit. So,
Interesting.
yeah, it was an interesting series. Um, I
I
love
like some alt
fantasy
history.
bullshit.
I dislike others immensely. It really
Yeah.
depends on what they
We've
do with
talked
it.
about we've talked about the one that has salt in the title.
Ah, fucking god. I was
Um,
just about to say,
yeah.
the
How
time
you
of
hate that one. Yeah.
salt and something.
Time of salt and something.
Oh
Yeah.
god. That's the book I threw
Cuz
across the
I
room
hadn't
because
read
they were
it.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, so it was all fine and stuff. It was like, what if the Black Death was way more lethal and it killed off most of Europe, leaving Asia to really become the world power? And that's cool. I get it. All right, cool, cool, cool. I'm with you." And I was with them until they were like, "So we're gonna do something with the native people, but we don't think that native people could figure shit out on their own. So these Japanese people are gonna come in here and teach native people how not to die of plague." And I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!" It
Yeah,
was very
cuz
condescendingly written, and I was just like, "Oh, fuck
yeah,
off."
I remember you telling me this because like before you told me this, um everyone else had praised it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't read it yet, and I mentioned it, and then you went on your rant, and I was like, maybe
Yes.
I don't want to read this.
It's not great.
But listen, if there's no magic involved, I don't
Yeah, no, I mean,
care.
there was like an overarching narrative of like, so these souls of the main characters are meeting in different times as a vessel
Yeah.
for the author to show off all the different world building that had happened. Uh, but really, like that there was no, yeah. Maybe there was at the end of the book that I didn't read because I was too fucking mad at it.
How very Cloud Atlas of them.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
Uh, Trying to think of other books that I really like.
I've been watching a fun show lately.
Yeah?
It's
What is.
basically like, what if Korean The Good Place?
Uh huh.
It's
Tell me more.
called Mystic Pop-Up Restaurant on Netflix, and it is really fun. It's like, so there was this woman back in like ancient times who got screwed over by the Empress because she'd been brought in to
Mm
like save the Empress's son, and she did. But then the royal court was like, she has bewitched the Emperor's son. Oh no, we can't let him be king now because he's clearly under this like witch's charm. And she was just like a girl who could read people's dreams. But everyone got suspicious of her, and they were like, ah, and she seduced him, and now he's hers. And so they like came after her, and then she committed suicide on this like sacred tree, and that ruined the tree, like gave the tree bad luck for all eternity. So
hmm.
when she was sent down to hell, hell was like, y'all, you got to make penance. So because the tree wasn't there to protect the country, 10,000, no, 100,000 people died. So you now have to go back to Earth until you have helped 100,000 people, and you only get 300 years in which to do so.
All right.
So her solution to that was to open up the mystical pop-up restaurant, which is like, in the old days would have been like a roadside inn for travelers to come to, and then they would pour out their laments to the innkeeper, and she could help them. But now in modern day Korea, nobody comes anymore, and she's like, I am running out of time, and I am going to get dragged to hell. I need help to help. It's like 10 more people. Like she's like really close to her goal. But the angels question mark come down and are like, yo, so the mistress of hell has said that you actually only have till the end of this year or end of this month, so get cracking.
Oh, get on that.
You better get on that or you're going straight to hell. And she's like, well, I don't want to go to hell. I do need to help more people. But time has made her super bitter and like she is not good at talking to people anymore. She's quite a bitch and it's very funny. I love her. She's just like done with humanity because humanity wrecked her life and her afterlife.
I mentioned that our friend Blue's problematic fave is Shao Tucker.
Yes.
And one of our mutual friends responded with, the creator agrees that he is problematic. She has said, quote, he goes to hell. It's canon.
Good.
That is not a real quote, but it's
I
funny
love
that
it.
someone's like, author, he goes to hell. It's canon.
Good. Good. This character is awful. He does indeed go to hell. Just so you know.
That sounds great.
Yeah, so she like teams up with this young Korean boy who has the same power that she used to, where like he can go into people's dreams, but also if he touches anyone, they have to tell the truth. They're like compelled to tell their deepest, darkest secret.
Huh.
So he's like, I've never had a girlfriend because I cannot touch humans. And the ghost lady is like, well, you're going to help me now because you can touch humans and make them confess their deepest, darkest secrets, and then I will help them fix it. And then I won't go to hell.
Does she confess her secret when he touches her?
Nope, she is immune because she is dead.
Okay.
But she's clearly got it, and I think it's going to happen later in the series where she'll, like, confess her sins to him. Because the audience knows, but he does not. He just thinks that he's like, oh, I've been recruited by heaven to help people. This is great. And she convinces him that she's like, you hate your power, right? I can fix it for you if you work for me for 1 month. And she hasn't told him about the deadline.
Oh, we got Captain Midnight King. Oh no, not Shao Tucker.
Good.
I will not cry about Edward.
Edward.
Someone took a picture of Shao Tucker and put as a caption on it, hello, my name is Griffin McElroy. Welcome to Monster Factory. And that's just what I think of now when I see him like behind his desk with his hands folded.
Good, good.
My brain has been poisoned by the internet.
My brain is
so
trash and I live on the internet.
This Korean show, is it dubbed so I can watch it?
I believe there is a dub option, yes. I've been watching it subbed because my new laser eyes are amazing. I can see everything.
I'm dyslexic, so I read
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show for subtitles.
That's fair.
Also, I want to draw things.
While you
watch all the things.
So this is a slightly creepy confession. But my new eyes are so good that I was like making myself breakfast the other morning and waiting for the tea to boil, and I was looking idly out the window, the building across the street, and I was like, huh, that person is watching Pokemon. And then I like caught myself watching their TV through their open window, and I'm like, that's creepy. I should stop.
Which Pokemon were they watching?
One of the newer ones. I saw a what the hell was it? It was one of the new Pokemon.
The animation on the newer ones is real good.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like because they completely redid the art style because it was looking too dated. Because
yeah, that's fair.
like it's 90s anime.
going for a long time.
So it's more like willing to squash and stretch stuff.
Nice.
Um, they're more willing to do like weird, goofy shit with the characters.
Good. Instead of just like,
Um,
I am just a talking head. Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
So yeah, because I watched some of Sun and Moon, and it was like, this is really like,
Cartoony.
yeah.
Nice. I don't think I like the shines on the paw pads. That'll do.
I'm fighting the urge to go get ice cream.
Oh, man. Ice cream.
I have whiskey ice cream right now.
What? Why are you not eating it immediately?
Because I'm on mic and people don't want to hear my mwah, mwah, mwah noises.
You don't want to do. You don't want to do a mukbang. Just an audio mukbang. Yeah. God, I also have ice cream that I need to eat of.
But yeah, Ben and Jerry's has a new flavor called Whiskey Business.
Nice.
Which is whiskey ice cream with caramel in it. And then there's pieces of white chocolate in it too.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's real good.
That sounds real good.
Shit. I went and bought a bunch of it last time I went grocery shopping. Magical Captain King wants to know, what is the name of the Korean show?
Oh, it is Mystic Pop-Up Restaurant. I think it came up because I had watched on Netflix another series called Midnight Diner, which is a Japanese series about a diner that's only open after midnight in Tokyo. And there's a guy called the Master who is the cook at the restaurant, and he's in every episode, but it's never about him. Like, he's always just there as the like, I will listen to your story, traveler, and then they come in and you find out about their lives.
Have you ever read The Second Bakery Attack?
No, that does sound like a show I would like, though.
The Second Bakery Attack is a short story about people living in Japan, and there's no food in their tiny apartment. So, and then like the guy says, "I've not been this hungry since the bakery attack." And his wife is like, "Explain? You can't just say random shit. Explain what the bakery attack
What is the bakery attack, though?
Him and his friend attempted to rob a bakery in college.
Good.
For not for money, but for bread.
Good.
And the guy who owned the bakery like just refused to give it to them and just gave them money to go away. So she's like, you've been like cursed because you didn't finish your robbery.
Of course.
So we need to rob a bakery.
Right, so that the curse can be off of you.
Yeah. And then
to
they
end
can't
your
find
curse.
a bakery. They can't find a bakery that's open at 2 a.m. So they rob a McDonald's instead.
Oh God!
That's the summary of this. It's really well written.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know about the Curse of Kfc?
No, I don't.
The Curse of the Colonel is an actual thing in Japan, where I don't remember the name of the city. I do know that the baseball team was the Tigers. So there was they won their World Cup, I think, whatever the baseball prize is, and everyone got so excited that they went out and they rioted in the city. And there's KFCs all over Japan, and there was a river, and a bunch of drunken hooligans threw the statue of the colonel into the river, in their jubilance, and then their team started losing. Thereafter, they never won again, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, you pissed off the colonel." And so they got like some Shinto priests to come and like do a ceremony apologizing to the spirit of the Colonel, not to KFC, not to the franchise, but like to the personified spirit of Colonel Sanders, who had been wronged by being thrown into the river. Uh, and there was like a parade or something, and then their luck turned around because they had appeased the spirits, which I just think is delightful. I love that a lot.
I mean, the Red Sox were cursed by Babe Ruth,
It's
and
true.
that
Yeah,
took
yeah.
100 years to break.
Yes.
And I believe the Cubs were cursed by a goat.
Yep. They
Um,
they chased out a goat, I
no,
think.
they told a man he could not bring his goat to the baseball game.
Right.
Um,
Right. And then that was
and
the curse. That's what cursed them.
yes,
I love that. I love weird sports curses and
um,
the lengths people will go to break them.
I think it's funny because I have stupid Boston knowledge from growing up there.
I bet.
Um, I always understand Bill Buckner jokes whenever they come up. Um, the Red Sox almost won the World Series, and Bill Buckner did not catch an extremely easy ball to catch, and that is
Mm.
why they lost the game. Um,
And
so,
hence,
like,
yeah.
there's a lot of mocking Bill Buckner jokes, or mocking Boston for still caring about it,
Yeah.
because it happened before I was born. So
But Boston is still like never
they
forget.
should,
Never forget Bill
yeah.
Buckner
Like
and
there's
his
a
fuck
Curb Your
up.
Enthusiasm episode where Larry David is hanging out with Bill Buckner,
Mm.
and like every time they pass a Red Sox fan, they go "fuck you." Like they're just have it in the middle of a conversation, and some rando would be like "fuck you,"
And he's like, yeah, I
um,
guess.
and he just shrugs it off, and then like um, uh, they need guys to stand shiva at a Jewish funeral. And Bill Buckner comes to help out, but then one guy is gonna leave because he's a Red Sox fan and refuses to be in the room with Bill Buckner.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Yep.
it just continues on and on
Good.
like that.
Good.
Um, and then Bojack Horseman, when Diane goes to visit her family in Boston,
Yes.
uh, one of her brothers is just rewatching that game over and over again. Uh,
I I love Bojack Horseman. Not the character, he's
I do
awful,
too.
but that's kind of the point of the show. But like,
Yes.
I like that her brother is a black sheep of the family. Like he's literally a black sheep, but she's the black sheep of the
Yeah.
family, and that she doesn't fit the rest of her like redneck family. Ah, I like that a lot.
They're not rednecks because they're from
I
Boston.
guess, yeah.
Um, they're just lower. Like there isn't even really a word that Boston has for it. Like um, they're just low class.
Right.
Boston accent is definitely like a classism thing.
Mm.
Um, rather than like anything in particular more than that. My dad talks like that, so I know how to tell everyone I'm wicked smart.
Wicked smart. I mean, I can't talk because I watch Letterkenny for about 10 minutes and my Saskatchewan accent comes back real strong. In high school, trained myself out of saying y'all because I was like, oh God, I say it constantly and I sound like such a
Uh,
hick. And now
well, here's the thing.
I'm training myself to say y'all again because it's great and gender neutral. Instead of like, hey you
It's
guys, I'm like,
also
hey y'all.
a very convenient thing to say.
It really is.
Um, Magic Captain King. I am drawing. Um, my comic You Are the Chosen One, which is exclusive to my Patreon. It is about 23 kids get the same prophecy dream telling them they're the chosen one. If you would like to read it, you just need to give $1 a month to my Patreon. But yeah, I never had a Boston accent. But my dad and his side of the family did.
All do.
Yeah, they all do. And it is definitely a blue collar versus white collar thing.
Gotcha.
But because I went to college in Savannah, Georgia, that's where I picked up saying y'all, because it's just so fucking convenient.
It's just a really good
Like,
phrase. It's very
it's a
good.
good word.
Yep.
Like, when I started at SCAD, there was a stand-up comedian or some like alumni who's a comedian that like came to like talk to the like orientation, and he said that he was from the north and like talked about y'all creeping into made jokes about y'all creeping into his speech. And he's like, so you gotta fight it, northerners, instead say use guys. And I'm like, that is so much worse than y'all.
Use guys.
And also as someone from Boston, use guys is to New York. That's
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
refuse.
I love regional accents. I've several friends from Newfoundland, and I love the Newfie accent. It's very good.
I'm not familiar with the specifics of the Newfie accent.
Oh, I won't try to do it because I'm very bad at accents, but like, have you read that Kate Beaton comic where it's like
Probably
fact
not.
use all I talks regular.
Oh, okay.
She works that out phonetically, and the character says it, and I'm like, I know exactly how that is being pronounced. It's very good. Fact use all I talks regular.
I like accents as long as I understand what people are saying. Siri on your iPhone, the reason why it asks you where you live and what type of English you want it to speak is because that is so it can read your accent.
Yep. I remember the Scottish woman yelling at her Siri because it couldn't understand her.
Because it doesn't specify Scotland versus the rest of the UK.
Yeah, it doesn't. And so she had to put on like a fake British accent, and then Siri understood her. She was like, ah, fuck you, Siri. I wonder how Siri does with a native accent. I have too citified an accent to have had that be an issue. And also, all my family is super bougie. Super, super bougie. My mom has a gold-plated buffalo skull in her house. Like, not actual gold, not actual gold. It's like paint and glitter. But I was just like, Mom, that is about the bougiest native thing that you could do. Just a golden buffalo skull. She's like, it's pretty, I like it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, it looks great, but like also.
Amanda and I usually joke that her mom loves all the shit I loved when I was 10. Because Amanda was talking about how her mom has these ceramic wolf statues all
Oh,
over the
cool.
house.
Good.
And like Amanda was explaining what they look like, and I'm like, I know exactly what they look like because I had a shit ton of them when I was 10. Like, they're a pain in the ass to dust and clean. You can get them at kind of like any touristy trap in New England, and I
Good.
assume in other parts of the U.S. I
Good.
don't normally go into touristy places.
Yeah.
And so like Amanda then did like a vine that's her going wolf, 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 wolf on all the statues that her mom has. Apparently then her mom came up to her and is like, I see you like the wolf statues. Well, I want you to know that you'll inherit them.
Oh my god.
So Amanda's going to inherit a shit ton of cheesy
Oh.
wolf
Oh, that's
statues.
delightful. Good. What have I done here? You said that you were thinking about streaming some video games at some point, weren't you?
Yeah, on Thursdays, I stream RimWorld.
Right, right, right.
Or I stream, I stream a video game.
Yeah.
Basically, it's me and my pal Bones. If we can get other people together, we play Don't Starve Together.
Oh, cool. I haven't tried that one,
So
but
if
I
you'd like
have
to,
it. I would love to join sometime,
yeah,
if you don't mind.
yeah. Right now, Bones is not home, so
Right.
it's easier for us to stream RimWorld or Crusader Kings
Yeah,
because
yeah. They don't
it
have their
basically runs on my,
main setup.
yeah,
Yeah.
it runs on my computer, and I ask what they want to happen in the game. So our current RimWorld game is we are Ithalids, and
Oh,
we're
right,
gonna
you were
take over the
saying.
world.
It was like the squid takeover of the galaxy, which is great.
Yeah, non-binary squids take over the world.
Good. Good. I like it.
We ended up having to restart because one of the mods I was using was broken.
Oh, yeah, that happens to me all the time.
So I
Good mods
restarted,
for
and
that
now
game. My god.
so we restarted. We're still gonna be non-binary squids taking over the world.
Good. Good.
But we added we were having the problem of So the squids can only eat brains.
Mm-hmm.
So we
You
would
know, as
butcher
ithalids.
a so we would butcher a person and then have all this meat left over.
Right. And you're like, what do I do with all this meat?
And so the same mod that puts in the ithilid mind flayers also puts in like other D&D races.
Nice.
And if you play as Tabaxi, they
Gotta get that
they
good furry
have
mod.
to eat meat.
Good.
They have to eat meat.
Good.
So it's like right now we got a squid, ithilid, and a Tabaxi hanging out.
When a squid person and a cat person walk into a bar.
Yeah. And so
that is delightful, and I love this concept.
Well, we're posting it on YouTube if you want to watch.
Nice.
Or if you want to watch us live Thursday, we'll play next Thursday.
Nice.
We play while you're having dinner because Bones
Yeah.
is on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So we usually start at 5 Pacific time. So I'm sure we'd be great background noise while you're prepping your dinner.
Nice. I have thought about trying Valheim. There's one that my several friends, including my brother-in-law, are all trying to get me into because they're like, it's super fun. You get to run around and be Vikings. And I was like, I do want to try that, but I feel like I want to try it with my native friend. And then we're like, what if two native folks pretend to be Vikings instead of what usually happens is European folks trying to be natives.
So the other game that Bones and I have been playing is Crusader Kings.
Yeah, you were telling me about that one. And all of the great politics.
So far, our campaigns have been... first, we tried to get this achievement that is uniting Africa under a matriarchy.
Nice.
And the game updated, so we couldn't finish. Like, we had, like, one county left to conquer. And then the game was broken. So then we played as Vikings for a little bit.
Nice.
And died a lot. And had to restart. But we finally successfully took over England as Vikings, which is like...
Good.
We were trying to follow like different achievements. And next, Crusader Kings is about to get a big update. So, next one we're gonna play as India.
Oh, cool.
And because one of the achievements is like learn all the scientific tech you can in the game. India starts with the most tech, so we were gonna go for that one while playing as India. But also as India, we were gonna try to conquer England.
Good. Excellent. That's very poetic. Mwah. Love it.
Bones really, really wants to do a run where we play as some pagan group.
Good.
And take over Italy and destroy the Vatican.
Good. Oh, I like that. You can call that your sacrilegious playthrough. I love it.
So, like, we might do that after the India one. Because right now there aren't that many pagans that are fun to play as.
Right.
So I'm kind of going to wait for them to do an update that, like, it's kind of just the Vikings, and there isn't really much more.
I think I am done with this one. I'm going to draw something else. Chat, if you have any ideas, shout them out. Otherwise, I'm just going to doodle.
You should draw...
Oh, here's that great drawing of you and I. As you are a sausage wolf and I am a chicken.
You should draw some Bojack Horseman characters.
Some Bojacks.
Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show.
Or some Tuca and Birdies. I like Tuca and Birdie.
wouldn't get into that because I've had irresponsible roommates.
Yeah.
And so Tuca just like rubbed me super the wrong way, but I've
Mm,
been told that um she calms down a little bit after the first episode,
yeah.
so I was gonna give it a second chance. It was just like the first
You were just like,
episode.
nope, can't handle this.
Magic Captain King um wants you to draw Commander Shepard.
Some good Shep. Fam Shep? Regular Shep? Shep
Uh
Shep? Shep
you
who is a
know,
shepherd?
space propaganda.
Yeah.
Space
Sexy space
propaganda.
propaganda.
There's a YouTuber I watch, The Salt Factory, where he just like reviews really old games that he liked
Mm,
when they came out. And by really old, like 10 years or so. Um, so he has started to review the Mass Effect.
nice.
Um,
The Mass Effect. I know.
Onion Knight, Where Geek Comics is Alina, who is the other person talking on my stream.
Yeah, I threw the
She's
link
yeah.
in there.
So that is their Twitch stream. Um, because they are also streaming and drawing right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to do like a Shep from memory.
but yeah,
So,
so he started to
yeah.
review all the Mass Effect games, and just while he's explaining them, I'm like, man, these are like the copyist cops
Space Cops.
in the history of cops.
Okay, so I
All
used to live in and game in Edmonton. I used to LARP in Edmonton,
mm-hmm,
and because people who make video games are nerds like the rest of us, many of my LARP group worked for BioWare, either as like
mm-hmm,
playtesters or that kind of stuff. And there was one of them who was like this big marathon runner. He is very built because he runs marathons all the time. Uh, and I think I don't like they either based Shep off of him or it's just pure coincidence, but like he did a cosplay of Shepard once and was like, "Wow, you look like you were hired by the company to represent the game because you just are that guy."
I saw a cosplayer that was that I later found out was the face model for Samara. Is that the name of the older blue lady
Oh,
in Mass Effect 2? Because it's not. I know Liara's the blue lady that you can kiss, but there's an older
yeah,
one that you can't kiss.
right.
Um, so yeah, like there's a really good cosplayer I saw at a con, and then I learned that it was the face model for that
And you're like,
lady, and
"So it's
it's
just
that
her.
character. It's like,
It's just actually her
yeah,
then."
yeah. So yeah, and I was like, oh, so yeah, it's just
That's just her.
yeah.
That's why the likeness is so similar. He's like bald. He's just a bald guy. Although, if you do this, then you got Hot Lady Shep, who is the other version of Shep. And then she's got hair that goes like this. And then you have to add boob to the armor. Because that's how you make lady armor, is you put boobs on it.
All boobs all the time.
Yep. And then there's N7. I think that's on the shoulders too. And and then it's like, that's my Shep from memory, y'all. I've drawn male Shep's face with female Shep's boob armor.
It's important.
Yeah. Gotta have more hair.
Oh,
Spice mommy.
so in the anime Discord that I'm in, there's a lot of talk about this anime that is about horse girls, but
Oh, but
like
they're actually horses?
Yes,
Yes,
they're
yes, Jeff was showing
also
me this.
they're also based off of real racehorses in Japan.
What?
Um yeah, so all the characters are named and based off of
Oh,
real racehorses in Japan.
that's
Yes,
delightful.
Anya, we are talking about Rachel's favorite anime. So this anime has been frequently group watched in the Discord. And me and another person in the Discord were getting this gal Rachel to start playing RimWorld.
Oh, good.
And we put together a mod list for her, and we told her like just subscribe to this mod list, like um don't you don't need to like look into like what each mod does. Trust us, these are the
Just
good
do it.
mods.
Just go.
And we found a mod that puts horse girl features in
Good.
RimWorld,
Good.
and like horse girl outfits and uh
Cause
Magical
isn't it?
King Knight. Yes, that is what
Oh,
we are
that's
talking
good.
about.
Oh,
Uma
good. Oh, good.
Musume Pretty Derby.
Mm,
um
I love it. I love it. Isn't it like they're just like regular anime girls, but they have like
yes,
little cute horse ears?
yes, and they have horse tails too.
Right.
um so they're basically like cat girls but
But
horses.
horse girls. They're horse
In
girls.
theory, they their legs are stronger than regular girls.
Right. Because they're
um
horses.
because they're
If one
horses.
of them breaks a leg, do you have to put them down?
That is what I asked, and I was told I was being silly. And also, there are no boy horses. Um,
Just girl
yeah,
horses.
Onion. It is not a good show. Uh, it is.
Hi, Exurgency, you got here just in
It
time
is.
for some weird shit.
It's not a good show. I was just telling this story because that's how widespread the RimWorld mods are. Is they even put like these dumb horse girls in
Do
RimWorld.
they have. Are there horse ears on the side of their head or on the top of their head?
They're kind of like
In the
in
middle?
between.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have now a girl with like
Um.
4 ears. I'm going to choose an ear spot and just commit to it.
Magical Captain Knight. Yes, I have seen BNA. I thought it was all style and no substance, so I did not
But did you like the sexy
really
wolf man?
enjoy it. No, because I don't like furries. Um. Uh.
I'm gonna give her some pretty hair because she's a pretty pony. And then I'm committing to the ears
Um.
here, I think. Sort of
I
midway.
also didn't like the Wolfman because he's a cop.
I mean, fair. There, I've given her kind of regular horse ears. And I'm gonna give her like Sailor Moon ringlets.
Are you drawing Uma Musume's?
Yep. I just had to
Send
draw.
that to me when you're done. I will share it with the Discord that I'm
Good.
in. That
I'm drawing these sight
cares about
unseen.
these
Like
horse girls.
I have seen the anime, like a clip of it months ago. So I'm just riffing here.
Okay, hold on. I'll show you what these horse girls look like.
I love it. Gotta make those eyes so big and sparkly. And their lips. She's gotta have a collar on because like she's a horse. I assume they wear collars.
No, they don't.
They're not going full cat girl because they're horses.
No. So there you go.
Oh,
You
good.
can see all the horse
Oh, I
girls.
kind of got the ears in the right spot.
I was complaining because there are no Clydesdale horse girls and no like miniature pony horse girls.
Yeah.
They're all like racing horses, so there's no like variety in height and size.
Ah,
Um,
they're just
and
the
it's like
the thoroughbreds.
I just want there to be like a giant Clydesdale in the audience going
Yes.
cheering on these horse girls, or
These
like
these little
these
thoroughbreds.
or like a little tiny one to be
Yes.
one of those like miniature ones.
A little Shetland horse
Yeah.
girl. Now I just want to draw my version of a little Shetland horse girl.
They're like, well, how would they race if it was there's that small? It's like they can run the fan club. They don't need to
Yeah.
race.
No, only racing
Um,
girls are allowed in this sports anime about
and
horse girls.
and apparently they all there are no horse boys, so they're all born via immaculate conception.
Good.
Um,
Horse girls just happen.
Horse girls reproduce via budding.
They are
Um,
they're parthenogenic.
yeah.
I, for one, stand these parthenogenic horse girls.
Anyway, this anime is not good, but
No, but it's very funny
I
conceptually.
I sure know a lot about it now. Um,
I am indeed putting a scary amount of details into these pupils, Exurgency. Into their scary, scary horse pupils.
also, I like that someone came to watch your stream right as we were going on about these weird horse girls.
And then was like, what did I walk
Uh,
into? Oh, look, she's so pretty.
Yeah, yes, Onion Knight. How insane that this horse girl anime exists when horses aren't even real.
Yep. Them and
You
pigeons.
are
Just
allergic
part
to
of the government
horses,
program.
correct?
Somewhat. Not like I am to other furry beasts. I can ride a horse. But I
Okay.
am allergic to
I
all domestic animals, like cats and
I
dogs.
vaguely remember you mentioning being allergic to horses.
I'm deathly allergic to cats. Like, I've had to go to the
That's too
hospital
bad.
because of cats. I love cats. I wish I could be around them.
Um,
Especially since one of my best,
H Bomber
closest friends
guy,
just got
the
a cat.
yeah.
And now I can't go and visit over him anymore.
H Bomber guy, the YouTuber that
Yeah.
retweeted us, he has a running joke on his channel that horses don't exist.
Good.
He even sang a song about it that's like, "No more horses, you don't exist at all. Goodbye, horses."
Good, good, good.
That's not his song. I don't know where it originally came from then.
I don't know what I'm doing with this girl's hair. It's very weird. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
All
I'm
right.
leaving it alone.
Onion Knight is correcting me on apparently the No More Horses song.
Oh.
They don't exist came from somewhere else.
I'm gonna draw a little Shetland girl. It's gonna be stubby. I like her small legs. Stubby and thick. Because that's short Shetland ponies. And stubborn. And just so much hair. Big hair. Yup. And hips.
A
They
thing
don't
I love
lie.
about Bojack Horseman is all the little like details. Like there are multiple layers of jokes going on.
Yes.
Like when Bojack goes out of rehab, his sponsor is a goat. Because horses get goats to keep goat buddies to keep them calm.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good. I love all the like visual animal gags that they'll do.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yep. Like there's like a running series with the bird reporters because the birds are the ones who are like paparazzi.
Yeah.
There was also a gag in Tuca and Birdie, where their neighbor in the building across from them is a bird watcher. So she's like got her life list and her binoculars, and she's staring out the window, but she's just staring at like Tuca and her boyfriend, or Birdie and her boyfriend having sex, and like reporting it like David Attenborough.
What's really funny is there was a video that was a guy talking about who are the hottest Sonic characters. And he was like lavishly talking about how hot each of these Sonic characters were. And someone took the audio from his video and then
Yes.
replaced all the Sonic images that he had with um footage of the animal each Sonic character is.
Oh, good.
So like it's like an actual bat
Oh,
instead of
good.
Rouge the bat,
Good.
or it's like an actual hedgehog instead of Rose.
All right. I'm gonna ink this
Uh,
little Shetland pony. She's very small, but she will kick your ass. Not in a race though. Just like in the parking lot.
so yeah, so it was like that's delightful that someone did that. Um, Exurgency is in my chat now.
Nice. We're just trading,
Chats are
folks.
popping. Yeah. I got a thank you for subscribing. I mean, for following. I appreciate it. My little follow alert
Went off.
is a panel from my newest comic, Stars Hide Your Fire.
Nice.
And it is the villain going, "Oh no, my actions have consequences. What do I do?"
Good.
Which might be my favorite panel in any comic I've ever made. I love it when bad guys make fun of the heroes.
Yes. That's always fun.
Yeah.
What have I done to this face? Alina, can you draw today?
Vampire Diaries is not a very good show, but
Oh
there's a
no.
great running gag.
Yep.
There's a great running gag where the vampire who has murdered the most people, when one character like yells at him for being like a mass murderer and like doing all this other horrible shit, he's like, "You're always so judgy."
Okay. Here is my guilty pleasure. True Blood is a very bad show. it's not good at all. It's got meth addicted jaguars. Uh but
I know. I have seen all of True
oh
Blood.
god, yes. Oh god, yes. So you know the
I have
delight of
also
how
I've read
snarky their vampires are.
I've read some of the books.
Oh
If you have
God.
not read the
Oh, I
books,
have
you are
not.
missing
I
out
have
on
not.
some choice descriptions of sex scenes.
Good. Good.
When Suki has sex with Eric for the first time in the books are all narrated by Suki.
Of course.
So
Of
the
course.
narration while they're having sex is she says, "It felt like my hoo-ha was struck by lightning." Um
Delightful. That's beautiful. True
it is
modern poetry.
um I mostly watched True Blood because I wanted to see if her brother was going to become a were-jaguar.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happens in the
In the
books.
book? Oh my God. He was such a
Um,
dumbass. I loved it.
yeah, he continues to be a dumbass while he's
Good.
a were-jaguar.
Good.
Um,
Good. Good.
it's also um, there is some weird ass shit about her fairy powers
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
books that they cut from the show. So you know how her brother is a big man slut?
Oh yes.
Um, it's kind of implied that like that's because of his fairy powers.
Right. All male fairies are like
Um,
succubus kind of dudes.
no, it's like because he's part fairy. Um, and so like one fairy power is the mind reading bit,
Yeah.
but another fairy power that humans can get if or if they're part fairy is um they're like irresistible to everyone who is
Right.
attracted to that gender.
Right.
So like there are stories about like teachers hit on him when he was 12.
Oh,
Like
that's
as soon
weird.
as he was in
Yeah.
puberty, like
Yeah.
um and because it's implied that like Suki's dad also had that power.
Right.
Um and maybe it's good that her parents died in a horrible car wreck cuz as Suki got older, her mom got like weirdly possessive of her dad, like to keep
Hmm.
Suki away from her dad.
That's weird.
Um um there's some stuff that got cut from the show that like I think is interesting that like they explored it and kind of went there cuz I feel like a big question is, well, if Suki's part fairy, wouldn't her brother also be part fairy? And
Yeah.
the books are like, yes, he
Correct.
is. Like, it just manifested in a different way.
Gotcha.
Um,
He's a part fairy were jaguar. You know,
yeah.
as you do.
Um,
As you do.
and and so the thing where he gets kidnapped by the meth head were jaguars,
Yes. That was
that does happen in the
so
books.
funny. That was so funny.
That does happen in the books. Um, and I think it happens in the show too that they bite him a bunch of times
Yes. I
because they
really
want
expected
to
him to become a
turn
were
him into.
jaguar.
Yeah, so in the books he does become a were jaguar.
Good. Good. Good.
Um, and so it is established that if someone is born a were creature, they go from human to the animal, and like there's no in between.
Yeah.
But if you get bitten, then you turn into one of the hybrid monster things.
Right. So he's
So
like a big
Jason
snarly
cannot
wolf
turn
man.
into a jaguar.
Yeah.
He is a cat man.
Good. Jason's a furry. Love
Um,
it. Love to see it. He was
and the
such
whole
an
books,
idiot in that show. It was very,
I
very good.
I love how stupid he is. I really like himbos. Those are my favorite characters.
As
Pieces of
discussed last
trash,
week.
pieces of trash like Pete Campbell,
Hmm.
and himbos. Like,
Who are pure good boys, but very dumb.
yeah. I would not call Jason Stackhouse a good boy, but
No. No. Not by any stretch of the
Uh,
imagination.
the books are also like a revolving door of dysfunctional relationships.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've drawn this tiny Clydesdale woman. I need to give her a tail. She's got a cute horse girl tail.
But yeah, basically, I got like the first half of the series as audiobooks, like as a bundle that was on sale for like $1.
Nice.
So I've read like the first half of the series. Um, so I know like Bill is way more of a jerk in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'd
and
heard they toned him down a lot because they were like, well, the actor we got to play Bill was very hot, so we do not want people to hate him immediately.
so that it's kind of like the writer of the series got a lot of hate mail when she ended the series.
Mm,
Because Sookie does not end up with Bill.
of course. Because he's garbage.
And she doesn't end up with Eric either.
Mm. And everyone was like, no, my
Um,
favorite ships. You've sunk my
she ends up
ships.
with Sam, the guy that turns into a dog.
Oh yeah, he was just a good boy. He was just a friend.
He was kind of pushy in the first couple of seasons.
What the hell does a horsetail look like?
But he's actually nicer in the books. Like he's super chill.
Cool.
Um, and the author like had to make a statement that like kind of Sookie and Bill is Sookie's first boyfriend, so it was kind of like she is making all the mistakes that you would expect of like
A
a
teen.
15-year-old,
Yeah.
like, and doesn't recognize like when a thing isn't working out.
A
So
teenager
like
who is very horny.
so yeah, so it's kind of like
I also heard
because
they
it's her
killed off
first
Lafayette like super early, but he was the best thing in that show. So
yes,
they
they do kill
didn't
him super early in the
in the
books.
books. Yeah. But he
Because
is
he's a
the
lot
best.
more minor.
Yeah.
A lot of the people in the books aren't like Tara is actually like two characters mushed together.
Mm.
Lafayette's super minor. Like there's a whole bunch of minor characters, partly because the books are actually like mystery novels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we need a shit ton of
They're
characters
like
so
horny
that
mysteries.
way yeah, so it's like we need a shit ton of characters so that way it isn't obvious who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Well,
um
I'm going to send you this tiny anime Clydesdale, who's not very anime. She's just my style.
okay.
I think that is all from me for tonight.
All
I'm going to
right.
start packing it
We
in.
have hit 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So thank you everyone for watching. We will be back again next Tuesday
Yeah.
at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Once again, you can find my comics at kelmcdonald.com.
And you can find my comics at alina-pete.com or at wheregeek.com.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks
joining us,
everyone.
y'all. We will
And
see
you
ya
have a good night.
next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
I need to make an end screen for this.